It is AJ from MMA Experts. I'm here with the one and only Alex Bruce Leroy Caceres. What is up, bro?
I'm doing nothing much, man. Just got back from Vegas and just hanging out, resting up.
Good, man. That's the best way after a dominant win. Chase Hooper had a lot of hype coming into this fight, bro. I mean, I think a lot of people really felt that he was maybe going to steamroll you. I was hearing a lot of things. I knew Bruce Leroy's a guy that's been around for a long time. You dominated the fight. Did anything he do surprise you in there?
No, I felt like I fought definitely fought more better experienced versions of that, and so we've been working on that particular game in our those holes in our particular game. So it's just been getting along every day now. So it's just I wasn't surprised. I want to get better on the ground and grappling. I definitely want to show it the progression as well. And I knew that I could, grapple as long as I do the right things. Stay calm and be patient and try not to rush things, I guess.
Yeah, and you were super patient in there. I mean, the thing about Chase that I feel like he's able to do to guys is they'll hurt him, they'll rush him, and then he'll get their back, tap him out, or whatever. If you saw him on Dana White's Contender Series, that's exactly what he did. The kid dropped him, similar to you did in the first round. He got overzealous, and then he got dominated for 2 rounds.
Oh yeah, definitely. But even though when we were grappling, I didn't feel threatened or in trouble, or whenever we clenched up, I've been working on that part of my game a lot, as well as I just didn't feel like he was strong enough to just take me down, at will, and I just felt comfortable. But yeah, I just keeping him off the ground just to frustrate him. I knew he's gonna gas out faster standing up than on the ground. So
Yeah, no, absolutely. I mean, on the feet, it was a spectacular performance. Did you get hit more than once in that fight? Really, with clean shots, it was minimal, man.
I just got a little shiner, but other than that,
Looks like $1,000,000, man. You look ready to go today, bro. You ready for next week?
yeah. Well, I'm trying to look for hopefully next month if
Okay,
we can get
and
on that card.
you got a name that you're thinking?
No, I don't know who's next. Just the next, I guess, the next better person to progress, I guess.
Progress. You know who I got a name for you, bro. I want to see if you agree with this. What about Edson Barboza, man? He's coming off a loss. He just went down to 45. You've been in there with the best strikers in the weight class. And I mean, split decision against Yair could have gone your way. Why not fight Edson Barboza? You think the UFC would be interested in doing that with you?
I don't know, man. Whatever they whatever they choose, I guess.
I
Could
think
be an
I
interesting
think
fight.
that's it. I think I'm gonna be honest, man. As a guy who's followed you for a long time, I see you being able to do very well in that fight stylistically, man.
Who's that Barbosa again?
Edson Barboza, you forgot who he is, bro?
I
I
feel
like
like I'm
that thing.
confused
Edson, you
with
don't you remember Edson from 55? He spinning knock kick Terry Edom. He fought Khabib, Kevin Lee, all those guys, and then he dropped to 45. He just fought Ige.
um I don't know any of the, I know Khabib.
No Khabib. Hey, he's at 45 now. You're funny, bro. You're a funny guy. That's good. I like that. You don't worry about the competition, man. You're that confident in yourself.
Well, I'm just not interested in sports.
Okay, so what is something
When
that
the
you're really into, like in meditation and shit? I've heard a little bit about that. But what are some like you do some spiritual practices and stuff with martial arts, or
Well, I like doing martial arts and stuff, everything that comes with it and everything. But I like to relax and just when I was in Arizona, I like to go hiking a lot.
okay?
I do a lot of gaming
You
every
got
once in a
Twitch?
while. I'm trying to get all that stuff set up, but I'm not so savvy with all that.
Bro, you should be doing it all, man. You have YouTube up yet, man?
I got a YouTube. Just got to put more
Okay.
content up, I guess.
Bro, my opinion, bro, I'm gonna be honest with you, man. So I'm not trying to be fanboyish to you, but I've been following you since the tough days, bro. I remember when you fought on The Ultimate Fighter, it was season 12. That was like when I first got into martial arts. I was probably 11 years old at the time. And seeing you in the UFC 10 years later, man, being around for a long time, you're a guy that has a lot to offer in terms of knowledge, man. Have you thought about coaching fighters after the career ends?
Yeah, yeah. Definitely I feel like that's the goal. Um, since I started martial arts, eventually I would like to teach it.
I think that's a great thing, man. I think you could be very successful at that. Dude, I gotta say, the next fight for you is it's 2 fights in a row. So I think you deserve somebody good. You might say you don't know who Edson Barboza is, but most people will, and
I
I think
know who he
you know that
is.
fight.
I know. I heard the name. I know he's a good fighter.
Yeah, you don't
I
need to
just can't
watch
put a
it.
face to the name.
If I honestly, man, if I could pull it up, I'd show you here. He's a Brazilian guy. He's been around for a long time. It'd be a fun fight for you, man. Absolutely. So
Because I'm
now,
getting mixed up with that other I think I'm not sure if he was 45 or 55, but it was another Brazilian that was a really great striker.
was it
Uh,
45? It's not
what's his
Aldo,
name?
obviously.
No, not Aldo, but
Okay,
he was
okay.
like I I don't know if they were friends or not, but I can't remember his name.
You're good, man. You're good.
But it's all good.
Dude, I got some fan questions actually from some people that follow me that wanted to ask you. So I'm gonna pull these up real quick. So one of the first ones here was about your last fight. They said, did you feel that Chase Hooper was underprepared for your striking attack? Do you feel that he underestimated you on the feet?
I mean, well, definitely, I guess. I mean, I'm. Excuse me. I know he noted that he was aware of my striking technique and that he would rather have the fight on the ground. So I don't think he underestimated my striking. I think he just underestimated my takedown defense and grappling. But I guess a lot of people. I think like that's the weird thing about the fight game, you know, and we've seen this time after time. People get better, or people work on their technique and get better. We've seen it happen with George St. Pierre is like one of the first people like to go from a straight striker into just a jabbing
Grappling
wrestler.
savage. Yeah,
Yeah,
he was a better wrestler than all the guys that wrestled in college. I mean, he was beating up D1 wrestlers.
yeah, but he trained with the Olympic wrestlers for like day in and day out. You know, when I was training with up there in TriStar, that's a lot. He did a lot of that stuff, so he got really good. But yeah, people can advance in their skill and people get better, and that's at least what I try to do as a martial artist. I'm not just a prize fighter, to try and just get better. You know, like okay, I got beat this way. Let me try and minimize that percentage as much
Yeah.
as I can.
Absolutely. And being a prize fighter, a lot of guys now are complaining about the pay in the UFC. Has there ever been an issue between you and the UFC's pay structure?
Well, right now uh, I'm making the money. I guess I'm earning. I'm not necessarily disappointed in it. I do notice the differences, like between like other athletes from other sports, but I don't think that's like the UFC's thing. I'm not sure. I think like maybe like we're growing fast, but I think like those sports been around for generations and generations, and they have like so many different ways to create revenue. We got like Reebok, like one of like our first big sponsor, but then like these sports have like Nike, Reebok, Gatorade, Power, like
Mhm.
they like all those
Everything.
powerhouses,
Yeah.
and
I think
so
the
it's just
UFC needs to try to I heard something, I don't know if you know anything about this, Under Armour is something they're talking to now for their next
well, I mean,
sponsorship.
yeah, that should be great, or do multiple different sponsorships, like why not do Under Armour and Nike or some
Yeah.
shit like that, like
Yeah,
or
why
just
not?
Gatorade as well, or I don't know, stuff like that. I think that will just grow the brand, I guess, and then we can all enjoy a bigger paycheck.
Yeah, I think honestly, for me, I think the fighters need to be able to get private sponsorships. I feel like the shorts now having to be Reebok, they can have them be
Well,
Reebok shorts, but
a lot of fighters that get private sponsorships don't make as much as a lot of people making off of Reebok now. You
okay.
got to understand, like private sponsorships, a lot of these sponsor companies, they want you to do like much more for them than they're really giving you, and they try to even like just cheapen the deal with merchandise.
Oh, it's
Just
not even worth it at that point. That stuff that you see like on fitness, like me, I'm really into fitness. So you have messages, hey, can you put an access code and we'll give you 10% off our stuff and we'll maybe give you 1% of the profits, which what is it going to get you? $10 in the end run is not much.
well, yeah, and then it's just so like, but we have to understand that like everything, like every company, even the UFC and all the other sponsorship, they're businesses. They're trying to get as much for as little as possible.
Right, right. That's absolutely true, man. I couldn't have said it better. That's it. Some more fan questions though that I want to bring out. All right. So when you were fighting against Chase, were you ever feeling threatened when he was pushing you against the fence? Did you ever feel like at risk of really being submitted, or was it really complete control throughout?
Well, I gotta admit, like the first time it happened, he pushed me up against the fence at like the side control.
Yeah.
I kind of like muttered like shit, you know.
Yeah.
But then, like I said, but then I just changed my mind and said, oh, okay, I'm just gonna start doing what I'm gonna start defending it like how I know I should be defending it in the first place instead of listening to everybody else and do this and do this, you know, and get the Kimura or not. Just grab the wrist, you know, grab his wrist control and have really good wrist control as well, especially on the cross grip or whatnot. And I just know no matter what you do, if you don't have your hands, you can't attack me.
Yeah, that's true. That's absolutely true. If you
So
risk
I'm
control,
just
how's he
gonna
gonna shut
grab
you
your
up?
wrist and I'm gonna grind it up against the cage and I'm gonna slide out and then we're gonna have to fight again.
And then get back on the feet and see who's got the better striking. At the end of the day, all fights start on the feet, man.
Well, yeah, and like I feel like you can change. I feel like the whole narrative of the fight too just changed after I think I hit him really hard with a corkscrew jab, and it dropped him, and then he definitely slowed down, and he was coming in still, but it was more like, you know, rather than aggressive, like more like just desperate. Like okay, I need to take this fight to the ground. Like his strikes weren't coming in as hard, you know, they were just kind of glancing off, and he was just trying to like close the distance. So I didn't feel threatened after that, and every time I went to the ground, I felt like I could just dominate there as well. I felt like I could have just went for submissions, but I just wanted to really just grind it out for 15 minutes.
Yeah, why put yourself at risk of something happening, going for something crazy when you can dominate and win the fight by unanimous decision, 3 rounds to 0?
Oh yeah, and well, I got us pretty close to getting the fight of the night too. But
Yeah, dude. It was a very good fight. Chase Hooper, he's only 20 years old, but wasn't your debut at 21 in the UFC?
yeah,
So
well,
you
21
weren't,
or yeah,
at least
I was
on the
on the
Ultimate
Ultimate
Fighter,
Fighters.
right?
Yeah,
So you fought in, I mean, that season of the Ultimate Fighter, Michael Johnson was there. Some of the guys now faded out. Nam Fam. Was it Christopher Brookins won that show back in the day?
yeah.
Have you ever, like, I don't know what tough, they don't ever do like a tough reunion or anything like that and get the guys back together for some like a get together or something like that? Anything?
No, I don't. I haven't heard.
Would you be in for that, bro? Let's do the tough reunion, put it on Fight Pass.
That'll be funny.
And with the fights now in the UFC without a crowd, did you feel different in there? Like
No.
significantly, it felt all business as usual.
Well, yeah, man. It's just a fight, man. Like if you're focused on the crowd during a fight, you're not really focused.
Yeah, no, you're right. And do you feel, but at least from, I think, some fighters we've seen, a little bit the crowd does influence the fight. Just if you're
It
going for the
could.
kill.
It could definitely influence the fight. If you allow it, I can definitely say I've been influenced, you know, by the crowd. You know, it doesn't necessarily end positive or negative, but it's just, you know, it could happen. But I think it's better to just you know, do what you know you got to do and really not care.
Yeah, no, absolutely, man. That's the honest truth. I think a lot of guys do get distracted by the crowd. Another thing too is referees are influenced. You know, if a guy's a dominant position, but the crowd's booing because they don't know about grappling, they might stand it up. So it eliminates that factor at the least.
Well, yeah, the referee got in my way on the fight. I bumped into him.
Dude, who was the ref of your fight, man? I forget now who it was.
Oh man, I forgot his name.
Was it little Keith Peterson? The guy
Yeah,
that
Keith Peterson.
Cruz said he smelled like booze and cigarettes. Did you notice that?
No,
No, so maybe he's full of shit then.
I don't know. Man, I didn't notice it at all. But yeah, he was a cool ref.
Yeah, he seems like a chill guy. So now, looking forward in your career, how long do you want to keep doing this? I mean, you're only 31, but you've been around the sport for who knows how long. You started fighting bare knuckles with Dada 5000. How many years back was that? Was that early 2000s?
It had to be. I had to be coming out of high school, or just coming out of high school.
Did they pay you for those fights?
Yeah,
What was the pay for a Dada 5000 bare knuckle fight?
it was like 600
Oh, really? That's I mean, it's not terrible for a bare
plus
knuckle.
tips from like the betters and stuff.
Oh shit, that's not terrible. And do you have interest in doing bare knuckle after the UFC thing's done? I know you've seen that BKFC stuff.
Nah,
Yeah, it's to me it's madness to be honest with
I
you,
want to
man.
stay in the UFC for like if I retire, I want to retire in the UFC, not in bare knuckle.
Yeah, no, I think that's a better plan,
And
bro.
then you
Retire.
can't kick or knee.
You can't kick knee, but you can clinch, which just
Yeah, I
makes it
know, but
weird. To me, the bare knuckle fighting, if you look at like bare knuckle boxing from back in the day, it wasn't clinch work. Now they kind of turn into dirty boxing, I feel like.
yeah, yeah, that's what it is. But I
It's
wouldn't want to
sloppy.
throw kicks.
What about Lethway? You seen that stuff, man? You crazy enough for Lethway?
What's that?
You never heard of that, man? I don't know if you know Dave Leduc, bro. If you look on YouTube, so it's headbutts, knees, kicks, elbows, bare knuckles. It's Thai rules basically, but there's no decision scoring. If it goes the distance, it's a draw, man. Some madness stuff. They're trying to bring it to the US stuff.
True. What I want to try, like, would be fun to try. I feel like those like 3-on-3s or like 4-on-4 fights.
The team battles. Oh my, yo, that stuff seems wild, man. Some guy comes
You got to
behind
get
you,
your you,
catches you.
you got to get your squad though. You got to get your trusted squad, like people that
Yeah,
are good at certain things, and you got to, like I don't know. I think that'll be pretty cool
yeah, that would be, man. Hey, I mean, what
because
would be
like
the squad?
that's a good I don't know combat training too as well.
It's like real life warfare. It's unarmed combat. And that's it. I would say
Mhm.
the squad. If you had to pick a squad, you and two other guys, what's your three?
Well, just because I'm biased and I train with them, I'm gonna go with Jared Cannonier and Ben Henderson.
Well, those are two savages, though, man. Cannonier is the dark horse of the middleweight division,
Oh yeah, so he's
and
like
Bendo's one of the goats at lightweight, man. One of the most underrated guys at lightweight of all time,
no,
too.
and he never gets tired. Super
Doesn't.
flexible and super strong. Leg kicks like a mule.
Dude, honestly, man, I see the progression in you over the years, and now hearing who you're training with, man, just iron sharpens iron.
Yeah, we're just getting better.
You're absolutely in your prime
It's
right now. I mean, at the end of the day, I think even though you don't know Barboza, that's the fight. You beat Edson Barboza. What's to stop you from being a world champion? What's to stop you?
I don't feel like there's anything to stop me, except myself.
That's it.
Just got to keep training hard and um, I mean, that's it. Train
That's
hard.
it.
There's no
Train hard.
other answer to it, I guess.
And what about mentally, right? Like, I know a lot of fighters like Conor McGregor, especially I've seen is into like the law of attraction, that positive thinking, only seeing success mindset, meditation, things like that. What are some practices that you're into, if any?
Well, definitely I do. I like to do a lot of meditation, just focusing, not necessarily on anything specific, just clearing the mind, just being in the moment, just focusing on just being in the moment.
Okay. And that's something you recommend to other fighters to do too? Would you feel like it benefits?
I feel like for everybody, it benefits, I feel like we don't live in the moment often in life in general. We're worried, about stuff that happened or that's going to happen all the time. And
Yeah.
or that hasn't even happened or could never happen. It's just an imagination. So it's just, focusing at the task at hand, makes it a little bit more enjoyable.
Yeah. Just living day by day and enjoying the moment at present right now. Yeah. That's absolutely correct, man. And what about like USADA? I have a question towards that since you obviously get tested by them. What is the cannabis protocol? Because I saw Kelvin Gastelum just popped saying, oh, he had cannabis in his system and now he got suspended for however many months. Is that something that they test you out of competition or how's that work?
Um, they test us before and after, but I'm not sure. Um, whatchamacallit, that's the only person that got popped.
I know recently Kelvin got popped. I heard, and he's gotten popped several times, but I can never understand why cannabis is still now on this, banned substance list with the UFC as
I
a
don't
whole.
know either. It's I don't think it's a performance enhancing drug, and if you're gonna be high during a fight, like I think that's detrimental. I mean, your reaction times. I mean,
Fuck.
like, yeah, I wouldn't fight high.
Dude, I'm
I
gonna be
mean, like
honest with you. I couldn't imagine boxing high, bro. That'd be fucking nightmarish.
like it's not like that much of a difference. I've done it before and sparred and everything and done great, but
Hmm.
I just know I'm a lot better sober.
Yeah.
you know,
Yeah,
for
yeah.
sure.
And do you enjoy some good cannabis though? Like, is that something commonly used by a lot of fighters? Because I know some that do.
Oh yeah, yeah,
Oh,
definitely every now and again.
yeah.
Definitely trying to minimize usages though. Just trying
Yeah.
to be more disciplined about it, just like everything else in my life. You know, it
Yeah.
just follows suit with what I do.
Yeah, I mean, you've always seemed to me to be a guy who's a lifelong martial artist. As you said, it's not just about prize fighting. For you, it's just a journey of self-improvement.
Yeah, definitely. I love what I do. I love everything about it. I love what it's given me. I love what it does for me every day. So I definitely want to do this every day as long as possible. And I try to stay away from injuries. I learn as much as I can about healing myself. You know, I'm keeping my body whole. I feel like that's one of the major reasons why I was able to stay in the UFC for so long without any major injuries or any hindrances at all.
Yeah.
I feel like I keep my youthful energy pretty high, and I haven't really beat up my face or got any
Nah.
cauliflower.
I'm gonna be honest, you look pretty much the same as you did at 21, man. Just the beard's in now, you know, it's coming
Yeah, I
in.
know it's
That's
finally
it.
growing. This is
It's
I'm trying
finally
to.
going.
This is as thick as I can get it right now.
Bro, don't feel bad, bro. This is what I got right now coming together, man.
Yeah,
That's
but
it.
you're like 20.
I'm 21, bro. You know, so hopefully by the time I'm your
Exactly.
age, I got it thick, you
I'm
know.
31, and I'm like, damn, I can't grow a fucking beard.
Hey man, what can you do? So let me ask you something else. Diet, bro. I saw you said you've been a 10-year vegan. What is the
I don't know
macronutrients
if I'm 10 year. Someone said that.
Yeah,
I think I'm just 8 years, but
that's
maybe
still
I
a long
lost
time.
count.
That's still a long
I'm not sure
time.
if I lost count or not. So somebody said 10 years, but I don't. I if it's been that long, wow. But I don't think it's been that long.
There's a lot of vegan naysayers out there. What do you have to say to that when people say, "Oh, it gives you this"? I don't know enough about it personally. I'm gonna be honest. I'm not well read in veganism, but I definitely respect the hell out of it, and it takes extreme discipline to be able to do.
Well, I don't feel like it takes discipline. I think it's just it's the change in habits. You know, is what you do every day. You know, it doesn't is not it doesn't become. It's only hard, I guess. It is hard in the beginning because for 20 years, I'm eating or 22, 23 years, I'm eating meat for my whole
Yeah,
life, and I think it's normal. And then it's also difficult because everybody else thinks it's normal,
yeah,
and
absolutely.
they're always combating you on it. So like, you always have like that peer pressure going the other way around. So it is it definitely was difficult becoming vegan, but like now I don't even think about it. It's just it's what I do. It's a part of my life. It's like great getting up to train in the morning. It's not like, oh man, I'm gonna go train because I don't know. It's just it's I love it. I don't know.
Yeah, no, yeah, absolutely, dude. It seems awesome. I mean, obviously, it works well for you. And do you like track your macros and things like that, or you kind of eat just pretty much what you know, healthy throughout the day?
No, I don't track nothing. I just usually eat what I want. You know, usually attracted to fresh fruits and vegetables anyway, so I just eat as much as I want and whenever I want. And sometimes I get down and I cook and stuff and some good meals, and I don't really watch anything. Just
Hmm.
eat a good variety of a lot of different fruits and vegetables, nuts, grains, legumes, and stuff like that. Whatever I
Okay.
can get my hands on.
Yeah, sure. Dude, that's an interesting diet, man. I think it's very cool, bro, because hearing it from somebody that's been doing it for so long, and obviously the way you look, the body's performing at peak levels. I mean, the skin is clear, the face has no bruises and cuts. As you said, you don't even have cauliflower ear. Maybe there's some secrets with veganism in there, keeping everything so youthful.
Well, definitely there's like we gotta understand that the only nutrients you're getting from meat or dairy or eggs or like just animal byproducts basically. You're getting proteins, you're getting maybe some trace minerals, and yeah, you're getting B vitamins from the blood as well, or B12. But you're also getting cholesterol, you know,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
cholesterol, like, cholesterol that comes from outside your body sticks to your artery walls and destroys your endothelial cells and causes like tons of inflammation. That's why, people that eat red meat for a long time or a certain period of time could have clogged arteries and they gotta open up their chest and shit.
Yeah, get cut
But
wide open, man. That's scary shit. That's shit.
yeah, like, imagine cutting you wide open and then they
My
gotta take a vein
grandfather
from your
actually had that
thigh,
happen, man. Oh, that's terrifying, man.
and they gotta take a vein from somewhere else and like stitch it onto your heart. It's crazy.
Yeah, that is. It definitely is. I mean, I think definitely a lot of people don't. even pay attention to what they eat at all, whether they're eating meat or not. They're just, a lot of people just eat unhealthy. I believe it's an American cultural thing, just not
Well,
watching
definitely,
what
yeah.
you eat.
The Western diet is definitely unhealthy with fast food. But then again, like we got to understand, like how far does unhealthy go? Unhealthy goes all the way to unethical, because when it's unethical, it's not going to be produced with any type of care about you. You know what I mean?
Hmm.
So we got to think about, like, for instance, where does most of the meat come from? Factory farms.
Yeah.
You know, that's crazy. You know, they destroy like 90% of the rainforest just to make room for these motherfuckers.
Yeah.
So like they're literally cutting the lungs of the earth just so, like, okay, so we can have like beef cows. But then they
Yeah.
stack these motherfuckers all up against each other. So they got to put antibiotics on them, which can cause like super diseases because now they're immune to antibiotics. You know, they're full of different types of bacteria. I mean, they're so in so close proximity. They they're basically slaughtering them like within like not even a tenth of their age. You know, by the time they're like, I feel like 8 months or so, or
Wow.
2 years. 2 years is
Jeez.
like they slaughter them and they live up to 25 years. So you're getting like, I don't know. It seems like a very stressful environment for an animal to be living in, like in a tiny compartment, forcefully impregnated,
Yeah.
sometimes
Rape.
being,
Exactly. Raped. Yeah. Yeah.
yeah,
You're selling me
just
on veganism as we speak. Just the
well,
principle of it beyond the health benefits, just the benefit to the earth as a whole.
yeah, but it's crazy, man. It's just like, the milk is made for the baby cows. You know, they're
Mm.
full of growth hormones to make the cows grow physically because cows don't need a bigger brain, they need big bodies. So that's what it's good for. You know what I'm saying? So it's not good for us because that's why we get overweight drinking milk.
Yeah.
You know, it's causes inflammation. It weakens your bones and shit too because it's too acidic. You
Yeah.
know,
I'm with
we
you.
have,
Yeah.
yeah,
Speaking facts right now, man. I like it. Keep them coming, bro. I'm loving hearing it.
but yeah, but it's just and it's just not ethical, and I feel like spiritual health has a lot to do with mental and physical health.
Absolutely.
If you're not, yeah, if you're not living good, I feel like you start to, it could bring you down like in ways you can't even imagine.
Well,
Nobody really. Yeah, go ahead.
so spiritually, you said spiritual health. What is, I guess, something that spiritually, when you say spiritually, is it like some type of religion, or is it like your own belief system in, the
No,
higher
not at
self,
all.
or
I'm talking. Well, I guess we like if we want to get scientific with it, I
yeah,
guess we can say just quantum physically speaking.
yeah. We don't need to be
Like
scientific.
on the quantum level, I guess you can say that, like all thought particles are basically light particles, photonic particles carrying residual amounts of information. So they're actually physical particles interacting with the world around us.
Really?
So when we think at something, we can literally change how that thing reacts, or it is observed, or it is perceived in that sense. Kind of like reality is literally what you make it.
It's manifest destiny. What you speak and think is what comes to fruition.
Yeah, in a sense as well. So like, for instance, there was a scientist, I think it's Dr. Emoto, I think it is, Japanese scientist, and he started taking electron microscopic pictures of water as it freezes, but before he did that, he would like tape on a positive word and a negative word on two different jars of water, or just think about them, and just put that intention in them. If it was a positive word, the water would always freeze into a crystalline structure according to the intention he was giving it to. And if it was negative, it had no structure at all. So literally his thoughts were, and this happened consistently over and over and over again, and different thought processes have consistent shapes. Like love has a consistent shape, hope has a consistent shape. And but the negatives, they're always just blobs, like structureless, just completely nothing there. And so it just shows you that your thoughts literally affect how water structures itself.
Yeah,
And we're
dude, that's crazy.
3/4 water. We're 3/4 water, and the world is 3/4 water. So we can literally change or affect how we structure ourselves and structure the world itself. So that's why I think the way we think about things and the way every living being thinks about things has a big impact on everything. So if you're factoring farming animals and all they can think about is terror, death, and fear, then you are ingesting that into your body, and which is why we live in a state of terror, death, and fear, and hate, and anger, and frustration, because that's probably what these animals are feeling all the fucking time.
Jeez, dude,
And it's
that's deep.
prevalent because, yeah, and it's prevalent because all emotions that you feel in your body are actually made up of chemical compositions released by your pituitary gland and absorbed by your cellular function. So even your emotions are actually physical chemicals that you can feel when they're absorbed by your cells. So these animals are going through these emotions, and all mammals can do this. Therefore, you are eating the negative and those fearful emotions from these animals because they are embedded in the meat of the cells.
Holy
If we
dude.
want to think about it like that, and we should.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I mean, at the end of the day, I've never even thought that, right? I've never even taken into consideration the thought process of the animal that we eat.
Yeah, and exactly, and we have to that. Look at the when native people would hunt. You know, they would always try and calm the animal down or pray over it. But then again, they're not even eating meat at the rate that we are. You know, like they would hunt one animal, take from the forest what they needed, and then they have to divide amongst the tribes. So people's portions were much smaller and try and make it last. So they're probably even more smaller
Yeah,
than you would probably have. Like nowadays, we have like 80% of the dish, which is meat, and 3 times a day.
it
Damn, you're a
depends.
fucking hell of a
10
hunter, you
out.
know, like
Yeah,
that's
yeah.
crazy.
Yeah,
You know,
holy
and back in the day, it takes like weeks to hunt to track an animal too. Even now, it takes days to track an animal.
yeah.
So even the best hunter couldn't eat meat every single day, 3 times a day.
Yeah, absolutely, man. That's
It's
something
just
that nobody has thought of. It's never what you said is something I've never even thought about once. I mean, that's crazy what you just said, but it makes extremely a lot of sense. I mean, at the end of the day, there's a lot of negativity going around in the world, as you said, and yeah, I guess the animals we're eating. A lot of people have a very high meat diet. They're eating unhealthy, as you said. They're eating these animals that are in slaughterhouses. How many people are actually getting, as you said, an animal that's been, killed by a hunter and not killed inhumanely? I mean, how often is that even happening nowadays?
I don't even know it, and not at all. And not only that, exactly. And the hunter which should have has respect for the animal because he has to kill it, gut it, clean it. You know, they just don't go to a store and see it packaged all pretty and shit, and just literally they're flying around like vultures. That I mean, you're living a life more of a scavenger than a hunter. Like that's what it literally is.
Yeah.
It's just they want to say, "Oh, we're hunter gatherers." No, I mean, if you're hunter gatherers, then you would eat it sparingly. You would have respect for nature. You wouldn't have 98% of the biomass on this planet being farm animals and humans, and only like 5% being fucking wild animals.
Yeah,
It's
holy.
crazy. Like there's no more
Yeah,
wild animals in the world anymore. It's all farm animals.
yeah,
You know what I'm
dude.
saying? And we're saying like, oh, if we didn't kill them all, they would overrun us. No, wild animals wouldn't overrun us. Look, we're nearly driving into extinction. Every
Yeah,
day you see another species in the endangered list.
dude, that's some deep stuff that you just went into, man. That's good to hear, though, man. It's something refreshing. A positive mindset is something that I really can see that you have, man. It's something I really love about a human being, is just seeing that. And obviously, you speak on negative animals, even, just people in general that are negative people, they have negative thoughts. When you're around them, at least me personally, I've always been able to sense that, right? When people have that negative aura around them, something,
No,
whatever it is.
definitely, definitely. Like, you know, I feel like the more I guess the more you practice empathy, and the more you practice empathy, especially through all living beings, you definitely, I feel like people can become more sensitive to that kind of like bad vibe or good vibe from people. And not only that, it's just you see it in the actions or the choices they make. I don't think is that much like magical. You know, it's just when you see a person, you can and if you talk to a person and start getting to know a person, you can see like, okay, this is how this person functions. You know, a lot of people function, um, especially in America, like on a very selfish level. And
Yeah.
it's okay to be, you know, selfish in times when you need to conserve your energy or protect yourself and whatnot. There's plenty of time. Like for instance, fight week, I got to be selfish. You know,
Of
I
course. Of course.
gotta eat everything. But I mean, to live that way and live in such a way that you're trying to, or that you needed to put somebody else down to get up. You know, and like so much for me saying it in a fight game. You know, that literally you
Yeah.
gotta put something down to get up. But it's agreed upon, and I feel like with that, at least for me, it's always going to be a learning experience. But I think, yeah, we definitely got to change the way we think about like what's important in life. And
Yeah.
I think
Dude,
that's a
I'm
major,
gonna be 100% honest with you, man. I think you need to get your word out more. I think you have a lot of wise things to say. I personally think you definitely, as you say, you don't have enough content on YouTube now, man. I absolutely think that you should be doing more, man. If you need any help with anything, bro, you got my number now. So send me a text. I have editors. I have everything. I'll definitely lead you towards them, man.
oh, thank you very much.
Yeah, man. You got a positive message that I think needs to be heard by a lot of people, man. beyond fighting. You know, fighting is how you got yourself out there. Now you use it as a vessel to, you know, put forth these positive affirmations and things.
That could be good, man.
Yeah, I think so, man. Dude, it's an absolute honor to talk to you, man. This thing's about to run out of time here, man. And I really appreciate you coming on, talking with us at MMA Experts. Before you leave, though, I'm going to show you a picture of Edson Barboza, because this is the fight that I think's got to happen, bro. I'm going to pull him up right now.
It might be him that I was thinking about.
It's got to be him, bro. Edson Barboza right there. Can you see him?
Oh, yeah, it is him.
Yeah, that's him. That's him, bro.
Okay.
That's the guy.
Okay,
That's
yeah,
the guy
he's
for
a
you to
good guy.
fight. Well, hey, guys watching, thank you so much. Alex Caceres, Bruce Leroy, one of the OGs of the fight game. Make sure you follow him. Give out your Instagram, your YouTube, man. Shout it all out.
My YouTube, I guess, is just Alex Caceres or Alex Bruce Leroy Caceres. And my Instagram, it's easier if you just type in Alex Caceres. You'll see me there. It's I am here now, Alex, all separated by underscored.
Make sure you follow this guy. He's a wise man, great fighter. Thank you so much. Thank you guys for watching. We'll see you in the next video.